So
I hit the button. I'm
that's
sorry.
all right. That's all right.
All right. I didn't even know I wasn't holding the mouse. I don't know how I hit the button, but I did.
Mr. Pocket Dial, Mr. Butt Dial, don't know how he hit the button. We're live.
I wasn't even holding. I wasn't even holding the mouse in my hand. I bumped the mouse. Anyway, hey, well, here we are. What is this? 30 or 29? I didn't even check before we got
Chapter
on.
30. Come on, dude.
Unpreparedness. Chapter 30 of the DC Alliance podcast. My name is Greg, the Bad Daddy 52, and back with me this week, Mr. Hines. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Greg. Happy, free, wondering if that attention to detail that you're putting on there is really going to bode well for people and their packages close to this holiday. Will you be delivering them to addresses like 45 when it's 40 and not really know? So watch out there, listeners.
That's where I waste all my attention to detail. Is that my job?
There you go. I'm just,
Sorry.
I'm just giving you crap. I don't think you dumped any Trump mail votes in the water or rivers. Don't worry,
Right.
I don't believe in any conspiracies. But I'm excited to be here, Greg. It sucked missing last week, but really big thanks to Katie yet again for filling in for me, and congratulations yet again for Katie on getting engaged. Yay, double yay. So even though you're engaged, you still got the backs of GUA members, and that's greatly appreciated. Just touring, but yeah, really excited, and we're going to talk about some Christmas episodes and movies that we'd like to recommend at the end. But for the most part, we're going to be talking about basically building up to Wonder Woman 84, which is going to be finally our first movie review. So pretty excited.
Very soon too. Very, very soon. Yeah.
Pretty excited about that.
As am I, sir. Shoot, we're less than a week away from that, which is going to be really fun. But before we get too far into the episode, do you want to talk about the network?
Oh yeah,
Let's do it. All right.
I was pretty efficient on superhero discussion, so the floor is yours, sir.
I think I got my style down. So we're part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where you can find shows 7 days a week. And you got World's Finest True Believers, Super Civil Servants podcast, superhero discussions, Star Wars Alliance podcast, Marvel Alliance podcast, DC Alliance podcast, Ranger Alliance podcast. There is Weird Science, DC and Marvel Comics, Slice of Film. We got all kinds of stuff coming out every week. Check out the show description below for the dates, or come check out the network and you can see when the stuff comes out. It's a really, really good time. But that's it right there. I think I've wrapped this thing up pretty well. We also have a Patreon account, 2 different tiers. $1 tier helps keep the lights on, folks. We appreciate everybody who can donate to that. And then the $5 tier as well, which we also appreciate. You get ad-free and early episodes, as well as Patreon exclusive episodes that you won't get on the regular feed. We do all kinds of stuff in there. It's really fun. We're going to have more coming out in the future as the network grows and as more ideas come up. And hopefully as people get less busy with the holidays, it's going to be some really fun stuff coming out soon. So check it out. And we appreciate everybody who's a part of the Patreon account.
Bravo, sir. I just want to say too, for the patrons, I've recorded a couple things in the last week. I did something with Nathan from Star Wars Alliance and Dragon Ball Z, and dropping tomorrow, dropping to the day of this, that this is in your feeds, myself and Clay from Ranger Alliance, we talked about the first issue of The Last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic from Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird. This was a story they had back in '87 and didn't use it. It's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. I've only read the first issue. There's only 3, so it'll be short. The second one is in the middle of January. I want to say 16th. Now that's Kevin Eastman, so we may or may not get the release on time, but that's still really fun. So we had a great time. Clay told a couple stories about some celebrity encounters that he had, and those are attached at the start. I want to say that might be his own little individual thing, but it was a great time, and I look forward to getting back together with him to review the second part of this and the third as well.
Clay's always fun to record with.
Oh yeah.
So, good deal. Trying to think, was there anything else we forgot about the plugs? Just I guess that we're an ad-supported network, so you will hear a couple ads in this episode. We'll prep you right before they come up, but just bear with us while it goes on, and we don't choose the ads, just spots. So I think that's it, man. We can go ahead and hop into some news if you want to.
Just give me two. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
I just tweeted out the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete the tweet that I did of it.
Did you already do
2 minutes beforehand?
It's okay.
No, yeah, more tweets,
out there. Yeah, more of them.
There we go. Done.
I love it.
Synergy. We're on the same. We're definitely still not humming perfectly. He's still on the same page with Katie there. Yeah, so I guess I'll jump into the news there. And first and foremost, we have another character casting for Superman and Lois, and they cast Adam Rainier as media mogul Morgan Edge. So really interesting to me. This could be a great casting this character. It could be similar to me to the way Maxwell Lord was really good for Supergirl's first season. As a character, I really wish they would have revisited it, and we never got that. So just nice to see more cast members filling out for this, and he's probably already filmed something like an episode or two. I've seen Morgan Edge on Smallville, and he was a foil to Lionel Luthor. So I don't know what they're going to do here with him. They may change his backstory or anything, but still really interesting casting there.
How big of a character is this? Because I know nothing about it.
He can't be. It all depends on how he's used, to be honest with you. Yeah, you haven't watched any Smallville either, so that wouldn't referencing to Smallville would not help you there.
Right. Well, I'm just wondering, is it going to be like a Felicity level character where it's going to be a big part of the story? And
he's not a good guy. Sorry for me rephrase that. He's not a good guy. So
okay, I just mean as far as the amount. Like, are you going to care about this character? Is there going to be stakes with this character, or is it just going to be if something happens to them, something happened to them? Oh well.
That's something I don't know about that. But
okay, so we're still yet to find that out. What are your?
He could be leader of the Intergang. So, and then that's an enemy of Supes. So that could be where they're going with him. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And that costume's still fire. So, anything I hear about that.
Right.
I just hope I'm excited, and I kind of hope I see John Diggle on there. So, going from that to there's been some stills released from the EW about Batwoman. Season 2, we get a couple there with just Batwoman with the masks with the cowl off, and we get the one that most interests me is Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. Well, we know that it's not actually Bruce Wayne; it's Tommy Elliott dressed as Bruce. With Bruce Wayne's face, but still, this is their Bruce Wayne in this universe, and that's pretty cool to see. Looks like he's taking something out of the Batcave in this exclusive. I don't know who's going to.
Looks pick like a projectile, if you ask me, or some kind of.
But it looks like blood, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
Hold on, are we looking at the same picture? I'm looking at a picture. It looks like he's holding a gun in his hand.
Yeah, well, I don't know about gun, but you can look to the right and kind of seems like
it's definitely got a handle. It's got a trigger, and it's got a barrel, and it looks like a chamber. It's definitely some kind of gun.
All right, you can shoot. Like you've never seen like. People go shoot something in their arm or anything like that. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
It could be.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Could be anything. Seems like it might just run out of CO2 tanks from the picture there, but I'm just more interested about Batman in general.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how much if you're going to get any Batman in this universe, in this show.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, Greg. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I'm going to give it the full season, but I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, the new preview, they answered a lot of questions. They're not questions, but stuff you had problems with last week, or not answered, but alluded to the fact they're at least going to acknowledge what's going on with that. So you've seen the new preview. We talked about it last week, me and Katie. Like, they're kind of acknowledging the Kate Kane being gone, and
they got to acknowledge it. That's not what my problem was. My problem wasn't that they were never going to acknowledge it. My problem was that it devalues all the relationships that were built in the entire first season. So, and all those characters are quintessential to the story. So it just,
Yeah, I mean, and they could still be part of the story, I suppose. But I
Yeah,
guess
they just don't mean as much to the character Batwoman, and Batwoman doesn't mean as much to them. Like Kate Kane's father,
right.
what relationship is this Batwoman going to have with him, and how are you going to do it even?
It's a fair point.
So it's just that the trailer isn't going to answer those things. Those are going to have to be whatever you know whatever story decisions are made. So, but I just thought it was cool to see Bruce Wayne there. So that's kind of interesting.
Trying to think what's the last picture here. I don't know who that is in the last picture.
That's Alice. She's the main villain of the show of season 1 anyway. So
held at gunpoint. Looks pretty
but that's Kate Kane's sister. So again,
so is there no story? Let me. Are they capable of telling a story well enough that'll make you be like, okay, I can.
Oh
live
yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah.
You just don't expect them to, or
I don't expect them to, which is not a bad thing. I'm not getting my expectations up, but
there is a chance they could save it in your mind of
it's not even save it. Well,
make it make sense. Yeah,
because the first season was so good. You're not saving anything for me. Like when that, I think Brent from Fans Without Borders and Marvel Squadcast put it best when he was talking about this. That we talked about this on DC on Screen. Funny enough, another podcast. Name dropping them all there.
There you
go. But when he talked about it, I was like, I had the exact same enthusiasm after watching the season finale of Batwoman, and then the following day we heard that there was like Ruby Rose was gone and Kate Kane was out, and then like a day or two later we heard that Ryan Wilder was going to be put in, and that just took the wind right out of the sails because they built with the crossover and the kryptonite at the season finale and the seeing Batman, and then it just all. I'm still curious what they're going to do, but like I think it's going to be a really tough sell. So I'm interested to see it though, but I'm not going to get my hopes up.
I get that. Luckily, I have no stakes going into this one. So
no, well, you probably have to watch. I don't know even if you have to watch the first season or not. I would recommend that you do, but I don't know if you even have to.
Yeah,
I guess we'll jump from that to Zack Snyder was on this weekend. Deck the Halls of Justice. Several streams, including the League of Mayhem, and he was on Ping Pong Flicks and the Film Junkies stream. They were raising money for AFSP again, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and there was a lot of guests talking to him. He took the time out to talk to so many, which is hilarious. Because when I see other people on Twitter or fans of other things get right snarky because the fans of Zack Snyder are enjoying themselves, and he's spending so much time with them. I love the little passive aggressive tweets. It's kind of funny because if it was your favorite filmmaker, like if Chris Nolan spent an hour talking to you on a stream, I think your head would explode.
Oh, yeah.
And for these people, that's what that's like for them. So I always find it funny when people just, you could just move on, just be like happy for those people, but instead can't. So really funny. But the whole point of this is big congratulations goes to Tim and Scott. Well, Scott has spoken from DC Film Squadcast. Scott has spoken to Zack Snyder before on a stream or two, maybe, but Tim has missed out both times. He just got on when Zack Snyder had to leave the last time and missed the time before that. So he's never gotten asked any questions, but he did this time, and it was great to see. His smile was from ear to ear, and there's no two better people. I think Snyder kind of agreed to come on the DC Film Squadcast kind of closer to when the movie's going to be released.
Nice.
And that would be awesome. Those two guys deserve it more. I've been listening to them since a little bit before BBS. So
yeah, they were definitely two of the ones that got me into wanting to listen to podcasts and wanting to podcast. So.
But after the whole event yesterday, the Snyder Cut fans hit over 500,000 for their AFSP donations.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So big props to anybody that's donated, shared, anything like that. Even if a little bit, I donate it, but not much. But anything helps. So that was pretty cool. And in this, there's a couple little tidbits came out. I guess the most important ones would be him saying that he supports David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad being released, and he plans to talk to him about it, saying something like I'll support any director's vision having like getting out there, and I hope that we see this before Zack Snyder's Justice League, but who knows? Even if we see it after, I'll be down for it. I don't understand why they wouldn't. It's basically another movie there at their fingertips.
I don't think there's any way they could do this before Zack Snyder's Justice League, right?
He doesn't. His is good to go. Ayer said he doesn't need any special
He doesn't
effects
need
or anything.
anything, no additional photography,
no.
nothing.
His
Wow.
movie is filmed
Wow. Okay.
and cut. Like it's a cut of his film exists. So.
Well, I mean, I guess that would be pretty cool. But I mean, I guess I guess you probably wouldn't want to see it from timeline before.
Yeah, but even if not, I like I said, I jump in for that. I enjoyed the first Suicide Squad. I know it had its faults, but it was kind of fun, a fun little ride there. So
it was a very Star Wars-esque mixture of movies where I guess she showed one thing and got another type deal. And I don't know if, like you said, I'm pretty sure it has to do with the studio meddling and the director's vision. I'm not as well versed on what's going on with the Suicide Squad, the Ayer cut, as I was with Zack Snyder's Justice League. But yeah, give it to me. I'll see it. It's one of those things, like I said, I've never really been super excited for it, but it's because it's just never been that big of a deal to me, or never been something that seemed realistic to me. I think that with Zack Snyder supporting it, and the more you hear about it now, and the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League, it could definitely happen. That's why I think it won't come out till afterwards. They're going to wait to see what happens with Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max, and if that's a success, which I'd be willing to bet quite a bit it's going to be, then they'll go ahead and greenlight just releasing the Ayer cut. Why not?
I know that's kind of what it seems like the perfect strategy, doesn't it, Greg? Like, that's a full blockbuster film that you could like have out for the people.
Not even that you wouldn't even have it in the plans to be in the works, and it's just there now. Add it to your not to coming soon. Like, hey, guess what? We're going to do this in a month, type deal. It's pretty cool.
Same, and I would love to see that movie. Like I'm champion for it, and like I said, I still enjoy the first one too. So it's different than the Snyder cut for me.
Dude, I'm looking at some of these responses down here on this tweet to this for discussing film, the one where we got this Zack Snyder story from. Golly, some people are crazy, man. Yeah, I'm so glad that I generally don't get on Twitter for anything except to talk to my podcasting friends and to promote stuff. It's crazy, dude. And I find myself that when I do get on Twitter and start looking at stuff, I do tend to want to get into fights with people or want to get upset with people.
It's hard. You gotta
go. Yeah.
Even if you gotta write the tweet and then delete it, it's hard. I've even sent the tweet and then deleted it right after, realizing like that is just a no-win scenario. So even if you educate someone on the difference, obviously they didn't want to put in the effort of doing any sort of research themselves to like know any of the facts. So me doing that is not going to change their ability to make like informed decisions or take any facts in. They're just going to make the decision they want to make. And that's, I have had people though be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Or thank you for like, I just thought it was like extra couple deleted scenes or anything like that. It's just, but yeah, that's pretty cool that Snyder like supports him like that.
Yeah.
And before we get really into the Wonder Woman stuff, there is a couple of things with Gal Gadot. First of all, she revealed that she didn't shoot any additional photography for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And what really frustrates me is Daniel RPK, who's been dropping like news nuggets, like scoop nuggets, like left and right the past couple of weeks, said she didn't shoot any additional photography because she's dead in Nightmare world, and Mera is taking her and Aquaman's place, which is 100% what I thought just from who was in the additional photography. It made sense to me that this was completely a Nightmare scenario. And we've heard Snyder say before that both Aquaman and Wonder Woman are dead in the Nightmare world, and that only Flash as half a cyborg and Batman exist in the Nightmare world. The rest are dead and Superman's turned evil. So they were killed at the battle with Steppenwolf, both Wonder Woman and Aquaman. So that's already been out there.
Right.
So, And then he got a lot of flack, so much flack that he deleted the tweet, which boggles my mind because I don't understand how anyone thought this was spoilers, because all that was under the tweet for him was, dude, we know you like scooping stuff, but you're spoiling a movie that we've been waiting for. And I'm just thinking to myself, if you've been waiting for this movie as long as you said you have,
if you're excited,
you've been keeping up with it, you know about this. He said this, so this is not a mystery. And it's just like, come on. I just wish he never deleted the tweet because it's not spoiling. I can't wait for it. But I knew this, and sorry if I spoiled this for anybody listening now, but I don't think that it's that, like, I don't know, like surprising of a thing. So,
right.
But yeah, she revealed that she didn't shoot any additional photography. And spoiler, that's because she's dead and Aquaman's dead. And he said that multiple times. And all the additional photography was the Nightmare universe, a Nightmare world. Yes.
Right, and that's exactly what it is. It's only 4 minutes extra. Everything
essentially
else,
what I think it is, Greg, is a last stand for the people of Earth in the Nightmare world.
The Nightmare scene. That's a good theory.
To try to get Flash sent back in time.
Yeah, that's a really good theory.
What happened. Yeah. So I just don't. We've got a lot of breadcrumbs, so I don't understand what we're getting.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I said, it's only 4 minutes extra. Everything else is already shot, and the only 4 minutes extra was the stuff shot with Jared Leto's the Joker. We're speculating that it's going to be something that has to do with the Nightmare scene. I think it's a pretty good guess, but you wouldn't need Gal Gadot to come record anything else or shoot anything else. She's not in that scene, so it just made it just. It seems like this is an article that was put out there. I mean, I don't know. It's not really clickbaity, but it just, why? Who cares? I think it's just put out there to make people talk. Because like I said, once again, you look at all the different responses.
Well, she was asked a question about, did she shoot any additional scenes?
Yeah.
Did she go back for additional photography?
So it's just a question that was out there in an interview.
It was a question that was asked of her in one of the junkets, because she's doing a lot of press junkets right now. So it's not really clickbaity or anything like that. It's essentially exactly the truth.
Okay.
And discussing film isn't quite as, I really enjoyed discussing film, and I don't think that they're very clickbaity.
Yeah, I don't think their stuff is either. What I'm saying is it almost seems, well, I guess I don't want to say almost pointless, because it is getting us to talk about it. And we see other people talking about it, so I guess it can't be pointless.
Well, I wanted to touch on this more, not because of this tweet. I've only used this as a reference point because of the Daniel RPK tweet. And him having to delete it, and people saying it's spoilers, because I don't see how that is spoilers, to be honest with you.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's spoilers either. I mean, it may be spoiler to some people, but once again, if you're this into this movie where you're checking out his tweets and you're getting mad about that, you had to have already known. And if you get spoiled, you're mad about getting spoiled, don't get on Twitter and look up stuff on Zack Snyder Justice League. Just wait till it comes out.
And I guess the final thing we talk about before we take our first break and get into the actual Wonder Woman main discussions is Gal Gadot was asked another question about her experience with Joss Whedon and Justice League. And she said, it wasn't the best one. I took care of it there. And when it happened, I took it to the higher ups and they took care of it. She adds, I'm happy for Ray to go out and speak his truth.
Yeah, this really, I don't really understand. The thing here is I took care of it when it happened. I took it to the higher ups and they took care of it. So I'm not saying anything about Ray Fisher not telling the truth, but why wasn't his stuff taken care of? I mean, I don't understand if both of them had problems and Gal Gadot goes to higher ups and they took care of it. Why did Ray Fisher have a problem that wasn't taken care of? I'm not saying he didn't have a problem or he's lying about it. Why wasn't that taken care of in the same way? And she supports Ray Fisher in this.
Greg,
so I'm assuming
I don't need to tell you that, like, her movie was like, she was filming her movie. Like, her movie was filmed basically before Justice League started filming.
Okay.
So she had her own solo movie in the can.
I guess
which kind of is like,
she has a little more clout.
We got to appease her a little bit. We got to, and also a little bit. You could easily, like, when it's man woman, you blur that line a little bit more with the harassment where you say it's from, like, and you take the accusation a bit more serious, unfortunately, when it's a woman accusing a man rather than man accusing a man. I've experienced it personally in the workforce. I've complained. I've done the exact same thing Ray Fisher did in terms of taking it to the proper person, them supposed to keep a little bit of level of anonymity and take it up the proper chains to make sure that doesn't happen. I was completely tortured by a supervisor, like relentlessly, for reasons ultimately kind of linking back to his past relationship with my father. And fortunately, younger Travis's father was a bit of a trash talker when he played sports. And that's what it basically all stemmed from, one person owning another person, one person being Michael Jordan to another person, basically. And I got I got the worst possible experience. Like, I went from a very fun, I thought like, oh, these work environments aren't bad at all. And like, everyone's like it's like a team kind of thing. And I've played a lot of team sports. Then I went there and it was terrible. I took my complaint to the proper channels. And unfortunately, the proper channels were very good friends with the person I was complaining about. That complaint got squashed. And ultimately, 2 days later, I was let go when there was a round of layoffs. I got back down there eventually because it's a unionized job. I'm a part of a union, and eventually your name's back on the board and you can't pass you if you have all your certification. And I never had to encounter that guy as my boss again. He got other complaints. The day that I got let go, in the morning they said that we were going to let people go at dinner time, and he looked at me and he gave me the biggest smirk. And then after the morning meeting was over, he went over to talk to the person that I went to put the complaint in about, and they were chatting and laughing. So I knew I was gone. I knew the complaint didn't go in. So I walked over to the actual company's head office HR and put in the complaint, knowing that wasn't going to save me, but still. And then eventually someone else put in a complaint. A 76-year-old man put in a complaint because he was being belittled by that man, saying like, "What are you doing here? You should be in retirement home. You shouldn't be here," saying that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then ultimately that guy had to go do like 2 weeks of courses, like anger management and leadership courses and all that to lose his job. So at least with my report being in there, it helped the person in the future. So like when Ray Fisher says stuff like, it doesn't even matter to me. Like, as long as this doesn't happen to people going forward, know exactly what to type. That's why I really get frustrated when people don't believe him or cast doubt, because I've been in that scenario and I've filed complaints. Whereas I had a female colleague file a complaint against him, and it didn't even get to a complaint. The head guy came down to talk to her and smoothed it over right away. I think it was they gave her additional, like, couple times they brought her in for overtime and smoothed it over that way. Whereas me, I wasn't taken care of, and it was my word against his, and I was gone. So I can completely understand exactly where Ray Fisher's coming from, and I can see how one person would get more results than another person, like even of different sex. And it's not right, but I ultimately think that, like, him even putting this out there will change the way that things go, because they did try to sweep all this under the rug by telling him like, we'll let Whedon go, but you know. And I totally believe that. I understand that. I can see exactly, because that's how they operated before. They tried to sweep this problem under the rug, that they do all the problems. Because at first they tried to do we will ruin you first. That's what their first attempt was. We will discredit you with different sources. When that didn't work, it was, okay, let's talk to you. Let's get this. Let's put out a surface level thing. Let's reward you with an appearance in the Flash, and maybe talk about getting a solo Cyborg movie on the go. But you can't name Jeff Johns because he pumped me a lot of content for us. So you just got to take down Joss Whedon, who's never going to be there, and Berg. So I can see exactly how this goes, and I want Ray Fisher. I want Ray Fisher's to get his justice, but even if he doesn't, it's not going to be the same. They're not going to be able to operate this, because if another complaint comes out like this, like, it's not going to end well. So I definitely see them changing a little bit in their ways because of this.
Unfortunately, man, I have to disagree with you there. I think that it's while I do think they should change, and I hate stuff like this happens, I think stuff like this is always going to happen. It is some form or fashion. Stuff like this is always going to happen in every aspect, in every industry, everywhere, all the time. It sucks, but I think this may change things for a while. But I guarantee you to this day, right now, there's still people in that industry, in that business, probably in the same company, in the same rooms. Somebody's harassing somebody there, and somebody's being an asshole to somebody there. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I don't think it's going to change a
Completely
ton.
disagree with that. That's a little bit of a pessimistic outlook where
It is. It is very pessimistic.
do
You're right.
just as
You're
well
right.
to just as well never ever stand up and
Well,
like say things are
that doesn't mean
wrong
I
and
think you should never stand up for what you believe, stand up
never
for things and right.
things
But
will never change.
I don't think that I don't think it'll ever go away. I think it might change for
Oh,
a
it
little
won't
while,
go away, but
it'll
the
always be there.
instances will get lower and lower. Like, think this would never have
I
came
hope.
out 10 years
I
ago,
hope.
Greg.
Yeah,
It
you're
never
probably
would have
right.
came out and never would have got this far. Ray Fisher would have been a name that we never ever heard of
That's
again.
true. That's true.
But the way that people can reach people now, I think it's a game changer.
Mhm.
Look at what, like, and the reverse of that, look what happened with Hartley Sawyer.
Yeah.
He's done. Uh, he's so I totally can see this going either way, but I just glad that Gal Gadot took care of it because we've heard some crappy things about how she was treated, and I don't think we'll ever see Joss Whedon uh, for WB again, but
No.
for Warner again. But I really hope that if Jeff Johns really did what they said he did to Ray Fisher, I hope that he has some sort of repercussions. But it doesn't seem like there's going to be much for him.
Yeah. Chris in the chat says it seems like Jeff's going to be I'm assuming Jeff John's going to be protected, which
I wouldn't even call what he got a slap on the wrist in
yeah,
terms of there was a book that was supposed to be
remedial action, right?
there was a book that was supposed to be published by DC and it's got an image, and I'm pretty sure Chris did tell me about that, and he said something along the lines of that's not even a slap on the wrist, that's just like nothing, but the book's still getting created. So, and
But they have to make it look like they did something to include him in the punishment.
I don't look because like I like a lot of his comics, some of his TV, but some of it can be rough. Like he wrote the Huntress stuff for the Flash, for Arrow, and I think he wrote the Scientists too for Arrow. Like he wrote some episodes of TV, but the best episodes of Stargirl were the ones that he did not write. So Andrew Kreisberg was dismissed from Flash, and his name is still on the show. But what
Right.
he did got him dismissed. So I just I think that if he did what Ray Fisher alleges, it's hard to prove that too. And like I said, it's your word against theirs, and if you have no actual evidence other than like I've been telling the truth about the other stuff, why would I make up this stuff?
Right.
And he did. If see, this is the crazy thing too. If what he said was a lie or made up, Jeff Johns' legal team would immediately sue him.
Yeah.
Like that's just damning stuff to say. And how that is not something that is talked about like at all. Like that Jeff Johns hasn't addressed this whatsoever. That really makes me think that it actually did happen. I think
Yeah.
he got little power drunk. And I don't think he should be canceled forever for this, but I also think there needs to be repercussions. Like I think that he can't just plop along with on Stargirl, being like no repercussions. But I say that, and then Three Jokers was huge for them. Like
Yeah.
it was
Chris saying in the chat room.
It was like so. He still, and if they got rid of him, there's no reason why Marvel wouldn't sign him exclusively, or RDW wouldn't sign him exclusively and like start out their brand for him, make him their Jim Lee, and go on like that. So I know that they probably wouldn't do that with Marvel, but they would sign him. I would if I was running Marvel and DC dropped him. So I can understand it's accountability over entertainment and accountability over profits. Really,
right,
is what it is, and we saying this, and you can't. I don't want to hear anybody give Marvel crap about signing Jeff Johns when DC picked up
James Gunn.
James Gunn before the pen was dry and the given the boot there.
Yeah, but wasn't DC given a lot of hell for that from a lot of people? I mean, there's always going to be
Just
people that
Snyder fans, really, Greg. To be honest
yeah,
with you, some Snyder fans and some still
there were
haven't.
toxic ones. Yeah,
But well, I think I have more Snyder cut people blocked than any other section because there's a lot of crazy. But also, there's so many people that raise 500,000. So
right.
it's just great too. Like Scott and Tim.
Hmm. And Chris in the chat's talking about how they already have the sequel being written for Three Jokers, no release date yet, maybe end of year or end of next year, but not sure.
And cool. I think you should still like. I think you don't need to hurt him in the comics realm at all for that. But I think that you could do something like the not having him back for Wonder Woman 3 or taking him off Stargirl. Like you can leave his name there, but you don't need him there as an executive producer.
Yeah, but when I ground my kid, I don't say, okay, you're grounded from everything, but you can watch your TV and play this one game on your PlayStation. You know?
But in saying yes, Greg, but he made the mistake while running DC Films and being in the film section. So, like, if you didn't want to lose him, I'm not saying this is if Travis was running organization and this was proven, or if he couldn't explain it away, he'd be gone for me. He'd be toast, and it would suck for my comic side, but he'd be gone. I'd toast. See you later. Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Well, but isn't that kind of like saying, so you're saying because he didn't do any of this stuff while he was in the comic book realm of it?
No,
right?
I'm just saying like
that shouldn't be affected from it.
No, well, I'm not. I think he shouldn't. I told you if Travis is running it, he's not working anything. He's done. I'm just saying if cold business looking at the basic just the numbers, it's that I would, if you're just doing the business side, I'd keep him on the comics. Let him keep his name in the comics, doing comics thing, and I'd take away from the TV show.
I agree. I mean, I see what you're saying, but isn't that the exact opposite of accountability over entertainment?
I know, but yeah. No. The exact opposite is you go publish your book at Image. Like that's nothing over nothing. That's nothing profits.
Yeah.
At least this is you don't get to do the TV or movie side anymore because clearly you had too much power. You got drunk from said power and threatened somebody here. So you're never going to have that power again. But we're not going to throw you out completely. We're going to give yourself a chance to redeem yourself here. You're going to be in the lane that got you to where you were, and let's hope you get back to the person that you used to be.
I feel you. I just feel like if
I'm not like
if I commit a crime off the clock, I'm not at my job. If I commit a crime off the clock, then I'm still going to lose my job if I'm prosecuted for the crime. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like I just don't. I feel like if you're harassing at one job,
that's not 100%.
You're right. It's not 100%. You're right. But it shouldn't mean nothing either. I feel. You know. I mean, if you get found guilty of harassment at this job, well, who's to say you're not doing it at this job?
But how can you do it if you don't have said power or responsibility? How can you do the harassing?
I don't have a lot of power. I can harass somebody at work.
Well, there's this difference. If you're talking verbal, like this was using your power,
career threatening.
This wouldn't like I'm going. Okay. This wouldn't Ray Fisher come out to the back of the lobby. I'm going to beat the crap out of you. Harassment or hey, Ray Fisher, turn around and like model for me or anything. Mm-hmm. That wasn't those kind of harassments. It was I hold your career, like I'm holding power. Like I have some power. I have more power than you, and I'm going to take that power and intimidate and bully you with that power. Because I can't look at you. I can't do a Tom Cruise of yell at you on set and completely intimidate you to do my will. Even though, like, I agree with Tom Cruise being mad at that, but I'm just saying, like, Jeff Johns doesn't have that ability. He had to use the. This is wait. Let me rephrase that. Allegedly. We got to say allegedly. So, just to. And Chris makes a good point there about like Warren Ellis and Scott Lobdell. Like there's comic creators that there's stuff starting to come out about them. They're messaging younger female fans and stuff of that nature. So Uh, and
Okay.
Clay comments that there was also the Batgirl writer, or was it the artist? But one of them. But we're getting more of these come out now because comic books are coming to the mainstream even more and more with all the movies. So, and I like some of Jeff Johns' content. So I'm not like this is example of. I know somebody wrote me and asked me earlier this week about. I think I shared the Gal Gadot stuff with Joss Whedon, and she said this is terrible, and it really sucks for me as a Buffy fan. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go back and revisit that show, given that everything I'm reading, I'm finding out more and more that Joss Whedon is a twat, which I just love. Thought that was really funny. Joss Whedon's a twat. This kindest way you can insult somebody, really. Uh, but I personally, I have a hard time watching Smallville with Allison Mack just because it just gives me the creeps just to see her and know, like, okay, at this point, like, you're out here, you're thinking you're helping Clark Kent, but in your head, you're thinking, okay, well, who am I going to find a brand next? So sometimes it's hard for me to, but with Joss Whedon stuff, luckily with the Avengers and all that, Avengers and Age of Ultron, which I enjoy both. Well, I love the first Avengers. I don't need to separate it because I don't see him. He's not on screen. I understand that he made the movie, but I just go and appreciate the actors. And same thing with Buffy for her case. I was like, you can appreciate all the strong female characters and all the strong characters in the show, and you don't. I know that Joss Whedon gets some support if you stream the show. He gets something out of it, but I choose to focus on the other people that you're
That's a
just
good point,
supporting
yeah.
their performance, and it would be really sucky to not watch it at all because of that. So yeah, like I think it's stupid, but I think that the next person that complains about either Whedon or this kind of thing, someone bringing them into their office and saying, if you don't do what I want, I'll in your career, I think their complaints will be heard a bit more
I hope so.
easily. That's what I
I
hope.
hope
Speaking
so.
from personal experience, like I said, I get really fired up over this because all I wanted was the guy to just lay off me, just don't talk to me, just tell me what you needed me to do, and then leave me be because it was terrible, and stuff he said to some other people was terrible, and nothing would ever be done, and it was my word against his, and it was so insulated. And this was just a project that started 2 years prior. So in 2 years, he had his self insulated to the point where you couldn't really file a complaint against him if you went to proper channels.
Right.
And he could do what he wanted. And people would say, oh, that's just Jim being Jim. Or that's just Jim talking like Jim. And I'm like, no, Jim's talking like an arsehole that is saying things that I was like, this is 2017. This is not 1997. You can't say stuff to people like he's saying here.
I've got a guy like that at work. Really, really cool guy, older fella.
Not
But
cool.
he can say anything he wants about anything. Doesn't matter, sexual harassment, race, anything, and everybody just kind of accepts it and usually laughs with him. And I'm sure he's saying it in kind of a joking manner. He doesn't mean to be offend anybody. I'm pretty sure he's doing it in a joking manner, but it's one of those things where if somebody walked by and they didn't know that you're cool with this person talking like this to you, they would instantly file a harassment charge or instantly file, some kind of charge against him because it's like, man, it's crazy. But he's really, really nice. He's an awesome guy.
That's a difference,
just,
right? It's
yeah.
not an awesome guy. Real terrible human being.
Yeah.
That was just basically, So I can understand. Essentially, said the same kind of thing to me: is I can lay you off tomorrow if I wanted to.
Right.
You say that to me a lot, like, oh, could lay you off Friday if I wanted to. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, dude, I'm in here for 45 minutes by myself because the other guy left because he couldn't handle like working in heat, shoveling sand into wheelbarrow and bringing it in while somebody's blasting sand and you're shoveling it back up, putting it back in. Terrible job. And I did it, never complained. Second the moment I got out and took off and started drinking a little bit of water, he immediately came up to me and was like, oh, taking a break, are you? I can have you laid off on Friday if I want it. And that was stuff that was on the regular. And I was just like why is he doing this to me?
Right.
I just want him to leave me alone, and never stop. So it's just, and I was, like I said, I was really glad when I heard that the older guy filed a complaint because there was already a complaint on file against that guy. He had to go do the training regardless. And now I know personally like being in a couple of training courses with him and the other people, that was worse than, almost as bad as getting fired. That was
Right.
to him, having to sit through 2 weeks of courses.
Right.
It was, so I took a little satisfaction in that, and like it may not change things. It may not change the fact that other people will come in that position and do those sorts of things, but now they're more aware of it, and the chain of command thing was pointed out, so that they actually did put in a HR, I want to say representative, or representative for each trade, so you could go to that person and complain, not go to another worker that was like appointed handling complaints. So like I said, and my old man used to tell me multiple times, like, just don't say anything. Like, why do you have to complain all the time? Like, any job of mine, why do you have to be the one that speaks up when something's not going? Like, why can't you just be quiet and walk on and not say anything? And I'm just like, I can't do that.
Well,
It's a struggle.
Chris puts it perfectly in the chat. Perfect quote: "Evil triumphs when good people do nothing."
And it's just, even sticking up for somebody else that I will never have another interaction with, because I've worked with people and I've never seen them again.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not being treated right, like, I'm not going, because I'm being treated right, I'm not going to sit there, like, we're equals, and I'm not going to sit there and let you not be treated right because I'm being treated right. So that's okay if he treats somebody else. No, everyone should be treated the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the frustrating thing about those sites. And I understand Ray Fisher big time. We kind of got off a big tangent here of that.
Oh yeah.
But I just support Ray Fisher, and I understand how hard it is for you to change things. But like I said, even those people, we may never see Joss Whedon again directing, or for quite a while. And
yeah, this is the same thing with James Gunn, and a few months later.
Well, no, that's completely different, Greg. That's making a few crude jokes. The other one was like
still harassment.
No, I don't. Who is he harassing?
Well, I can't remember.
He's not harassing anyone.
That's true. You're right.
He's not harassing anyone to read. That's
true.
just his crude sense of humor that he, I hated them. They were disgusting, but they're just terrible jokes. It was, it's no different than people making jokes about other controversial things. He's not directly saying, like, I'm going to put you out of business or make sure you never work again or anything like that. He's just being like, look at my awful sense of humor and how terrible it is. Like, how unfunny this part is. Like, even though I make these really funny movies, come look at these unfunny jokes that I need filtered out in the process, kind of deal.
Right. Should never tweet out.
Oh yeah, sure. That's not. He knows that. He knows that himself. But I still don't think that's anywhere near the same ballpark as what we were talking about there, because I just think that one is like going out of their way, and you hear the stories of how he treated people on set.
Right. I just feel like more people probably knew about that just because of they did the stuff going on with Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher, just because a lot of people, unless you're following the story directly, are not going to know about that. But
every single person in the Guardians cast came out and was like, yeah, James Gunn is a really, really nice guy. Like, those couple tweets of those terrible jokes. And I'm still waiting for all the cast of the Avengers, all the cast of Buffy, all the cast of Avengers Age of Ultron, all the cast of, although the two cast members of Firefly came out, Alan Tudyk and somebody else, and said that there's no way they could see that happen. They haven't spoken about it since then. But I hope that justice is served, but at the very least, hopefully this will never happen again in this situation. Those things, those harassments and those workplace incidents will always happen, but they're going to happen less and less if you report on them, because this is something 10, 15 years ago, they would have just said, Ray Fisher, toughen up. Don't say nothing else and just toughen up or you'll end your career. And instead he's like, no, I'm speaking up now. I can directly tell people exactly what is going on. And I like when they put out a fake Frosty thing to make it look like everybody's against me, I directly have contact with the actor that they're trying to do this with, and he can directly put out, I think it's bullshit that they put out a fake Frosty thing with a story without my knowledge.
Right.
So I just think we're in a different world now. So things, if you complain, like, and I don't want, I'm not a big cancel culture guy. and I don't want everything to be canceled. But some things you need to pay consequences for.
Right.
And this is one of those.
100%.
So we're gonna take our break before we get into a little bit of Wonder Woman talk.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, we've been talking for a lot longer than I thought we were going to on this break, but we did go on some tangents, and we had some pretty heavy stuff hitting there, so lots stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun stuff now, listeners, going forward.
That's right. Well, let's do it, man. Folks, once again, we just pick the spots. We don't pick the ads. Volume can get a little loud. Bear with us for about 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And we're back. So,
like we never left. The magic of YouTube.
That's exactly right. So we got some Wonder Woman stuff to talk about, man. Dude, we are days away from Wonder Woman.
Yes, and before we get into Wonder Woman exactly, we're going to get into how you're going to watch Wonder Woman, Greg. I'm pretty confident. And don't worry, you don't have to call, you don't have to book any help. Like, you don't have to book an extra person to come into your house to move that PlayStation from the living room to the bedroom.
That's right.
You don't have to work out for the next 2 weeks to get enough, or work out for the next 5 days, get enough muscle to lift that PlayStation up and bring it in the room. No more you have to worry about that.
Space off.
Very terrible, I can't even call it, very, very terrible problem. It's not an inconvenience. It was a problem for you. So a very terrible problem. You don't have to deal with it anymore.
You know what?
Because HBO Max is coming to Roku, Greg.
You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you something too. It's not just me. A lot of people, I think, felt this way. I had 3 people at work that I told about HBO Max and was telling them about all the stuff that's going on. They talked to me about comics and a podcast. They love the movies and stuff. And I was telling them about HBO Max, and they were like, "Oh, you can't stream it on Roku TV or a Roku stick?" I was like, "No, not yet." "Oh, well, let me know when you can." That was their response. "Let me know when you can." So it's not just me. A lot of people feel, because not everybody has a PlayStation.
No,
to stream it off of.
I don't really want to do this, but if you were gambling, how many of those people do you think already have access, like from maybe their internet service provider, and they don't know it?
That's a good point too. You're absolutely right. But that's my point, is not everybody's in the know as we are about this kind of stuff. So the average person, if it's not going to be, if they can't turn their TV on and access the HBO Max app right there with all the rest of the stuff they can look at, they'll go right by it. And that was my point.
Yeah, but they already have it. Like those people, like the people that already have the service but don't have it activated, like those aren't your target people because they already have the service. It sucks they don't have it activated, but they already have the service. You know what I mean? Like they already have it paid for somehow.
Well, no, you can download the app without being, or have the app. And what do you mean? I don't get what you're saying. The people that go by, like
there are people service. Like from like. You're getting HBO Max from AT because you have AT&T, right?
Uh-huh.
There's so many people like that, but they don't have it activated.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's
but see, that's a different demographic than the person I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are just at home. And they look at it. If they can't get it directly on right next to the Netflix and the Amazon Prime and everything, and the Disney Plus and everything else,
yes,
they're just not going to care about HBO Max.
What I'm saying is, those are the people that will not know if they already have the HBO Max app, like with their bundle from AT&T. Those are no maybes. I promise you, the person that finds the HBO app on PlayStation 4 or 5 and uses it there is definitely going to know if they got their app, like if they have a free activation or they have activation included with their internet service, compared to the people that don't know the app exists because it's not on Roku. It's clearly like those are ones that will not know if they have subscription anyway.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is your point, the end game is still the same. You're trying to get the people who will not watch it unless it's on Roku, whether they have a subscription to HBO Max or not, to watch it.
Well, then you don't have to
to tell people about it. So if the goal is to get it in front of as many eyes as you possibly can, like put it on Roku, and that's exactly what they did, which we're going to talk about. We're kind of burying the lead here, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like the more people you can get it out to, the better. Like I said, I know 3 people personally at work that were like, when it's on Roku, when I can get it on my Fire Stick, or when I can get it on my Roku stick, let me know and I'll check it out. They weren't going to go to any other measures to try to get it, you know?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't even think those customers are as valuable because they probably already,
if they pay the monthly subscription, they're just as valuable as you or I.
They're probably already.
I guarantee you, HBO doesn't care how much we watch
paying for it.
Maybe,
They probably have the option. There's millions of
Maybe, but you can't assume.
unactivated.
Well,
No,
yeah,
it's
but
not
you can't
assume.
assume.
It's out there as data. They released it
Well,
that
it's
there's
out
so
there.
many
Okay, hold on.
millions of
It's out.
unactivated already paid for subscriptions.
You're right. It's out there. That data, that's fine. But you can't assume that every person who wouldn't watch it because it's not on Roku is one of those people.
I'm saying
There's
that
billions of
no,
people in the world. I mean, even if there's millions of
Greg.
subscriptions, there's
Okay,
billions of people in
billions.
the world.
Calm down. We're
I'm
talking about
just
HBO
saying.
Max. No, your number's 350 million because you're talking about HBO Max, which is United States. So it's
Okay.
not billions around the world.
So when you
That
say
app is
millions,
just
okay.
states.
What I'm saying is I don't think that okay, there's 350 million people in America. I don't think they're saying, well, there's 200 million activated free or open accounts for HBO Max that people just aren't paying attention to. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's a majority of people. I think when they say millions, it might be a few million.
I said 4 million people with unactivated accounts.
But that's in the grand scheme of things, that's not that much. Is what I'm saying. You can't assume that everybody who wouldn't watch it because it's on
Greg, not everybody. I don't know many people that are like that. Where I'll only check it out if it's on this one service. That's it. Like, I don't know many people like that. So that's where I'm saying. But I guess they'll reach those people as well with this deal because they like I've been saying. Eventually, Roku was going to cave, and they did. And there's a deal in place after HBO Max like got a deal with every other platform basically. 7 months after streaming service launched, and Roku got 46 million active user accounts at the end of September. So hopefully, we don't know how many of those accounts already have HBO Max, like those people. So you'll probably get the data in a few months, maybe. But this is good. This is good leading up to the 25th Christmas Day. Because when this drops, at least I'm curious to see how HBO Max is going to handle it. It does not affect people like me, unfortunately, because Craig TV is not getting Wonder Woman until like 5-6 months from now, from when it airs theatrically. I hope that HBO Max takes you and I never see you again, because I hope they buy you out and your god awful streaming service never sees the light of day again. Sorry about that.
It might. No, you're good.
They're not going to. It's just, I don't know. Don't even type it. It frustrates the hell out of me. But I just want to see it here. Roku's standard deal term for content partners is to take 20% of subscription fees and 30% of ad inventory.
Yeah, I don't know what the final numbers are for the how they worked out their deal, but I can promise you that no matter who ended up paying what for whatever, both sides are going to be more profitable from this happening. Me and Chris are talking about in the chat, and it was funny because I hear different people taking different sides about who blinked first, Roku or I guess HBO Max. Who do you think blinked first? Or do you think it was kind of a mutual? These guys were like, you know what? Let's sit down and think about this. We can come up with something, because apparently they've been planning it for a while. They just couldn't. I think it said in the article that they'd already had it planned out. They just couldn't come to terms with the money, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That you're going to go months and months and months, or weeks and weeks and weeks disputing over money. Like, just fucking come up with a number. Y'all are all going to make a lot of money. Sorry, it's me, but who do you think blinked first, if anybody?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I could see Roku blinking, and not because of anything other than this is the best time that they're going to make a deal, because streaming services, this is the apex of their demand right now, from everything they've been, because of COVID and the theatrical experience being shut down, and a lot of like cable television like properties like shutting down for a while and taking a while to start back up. Streaming has been the easiest thing. You can stay in your home and watch. So they're in the high ground, a la Obi-Wan. But if, like, with the vaccine coming out now, the like Warner's is kind of leveling the ground. So they're losing their, in my opinion, advantage, or some of their advantage. So I could see why they would make a deal a little bit quicker, instead of if they dragged it out and there was no vaccine and people weren't going back to the movie theaters at all, like HBO Max would be in Warner and HBO Max app would be even tougher position to keep going because you want people to see the content, right?
Mhm.
So,
and see that's kind of where I'm at with it. I feel like it had to have been HBO Max that blinked first. If it was probably a situation where they both felt like they'd make more money together because they will. But if anybody blinked first, it had to have been HBO Max because the success of the HBO Max app is imperative to what they're doing right now on the whatever side.
I think you're not. I think you're disregarding the vaccine and how the vaccine comes out, and within a few weeks, this deal is reached, and then Roku's shares go up 3% after this deal. But I assume, and I 100%, I'd have to look, but I assume that the last couple of days or since the vaccine, I assume streaming services aren't going up as much. Don't count Disney Plus because of all the news they dropped, but just they're not in there. You know what I mean? They're when the pandemic was roaring, they were at their apex of bargaining because they beam directly into the user, and with some of them like Peacock, there's ads in the actual shows on the app. So there's your ad revenue too. So all that stuff is key, but you can get at the consumers directly, whereas some movie theaters are shut down. You can't even go watch them.
Right. But my point was HBO Max is a new streaming service. Okay. They've invested a lot into this. They've announced the 21 movies coming out next year on HBO, which is a big deal.
17.
Oh, 17 movies. Okay. Which is 17. I thought I saw 20. Yeah. Anyway,
Wonder Woman would make 18.
Okay. So their success is huge. Roku is already successful. If HBO Max never came to Roku again, guess what? Roku's still going to be on 76% of smart televisions across America. So Roku didn't need HBO Max to survive. People are still going to buy Roku TVs, Roku sticks. It's just going to happen. HBO Max needed Roku to be able to put this on there. I don't think Roku needed HBO Max to have this.
No,
I just don't think. I think it was a bigger deal for HBO Max to make this deal happen than it was for Roku. Roku doesn't need HBO Max.
Greg, it has the most content. They're already successful, but they're not going to look. They immediately went up 3% in their stock.
I'm not,
and you're saying they don't need it.
No,
they need the content, Greg.
No. You're twisting my words. I'm not saying it wouldn't be profitable for them to have them. It definitely would be.
So Warner, okay.
Listen,
I'm going to tell you something here now.
Okay.
Sony, back in the video game wars, went to Nintendo and said, we want to partner up in building a disc console. They talked about it, and then Nintendo was like, we don't need you. We do it ourselves. We don't need you. Like, you're useless. You're not even in the field. And they discarded them, and Sony went, like, you're just getting into the field. You're minor. We're Roku. We've been in the field forever. And they discarded them. They said, go on your merry old way. And Sony came back and destroyed. You tell me Warner couldn't put their assets behind Amazon Fire Stick and try to push them to the level of Roku? Why would you make an enemy? You're like, Roku needs
everything you can get on Roku, you can get on Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah, so why, if you're Roku, why would you make an enemy of Warner and HBO Max? They could just get.
What I'm saying is they're not making enemies.
They are great if they don't put their thing on. They're not making a friend. They're not making a business partner.
Look, what I'm saying is, if Roku doesn't make the deal with HBO Max, and HBO Max never comes to Roku TV, guess what? Roku TVs are still going to be in 76% of smart TVs across America.
That can't go down.
But that can go down. You're right. But you know what? I guarantee it won't go down nearly as slow as HBO Max's subscriptions will increase if you can't get it on a Roku TV. I guarantee you that HBO Max is going to profit more, or has gotten the better deal from being on Roku than Roku is. It's symbiotic relationship. They're both benefiting.
How do you know that?
They're both benefiting.
How can you guarantee?
Because Roku is already successful. HBO Max is not successful yet. They have kind of content.
HBO Max went up in subscriptions from the what do you call it movie? The show. Went up 80% in subscriptions from the flight attendant. And like, they're just putting on content now. You're just like, they're not successful. They're just starting out. Roku's been around forever. There is
exactly
that other people can take
over.
Roku
didn't need them, and they needed
the 10,000 hours of content, Greg. They need the 10,000 hours. They can't be the only streaming app that doesn't have HBO Max, man. Like you're saying, they don't need it. They need the
there's
content. They
really
can't be
only two
Amazon
kind
Fire
of
Stick has it and we don't. What are you going to buy yourself for Christmas? You're going to buy Roku because Roku is the one, or if you do any sort of research and find out that Roku has these and then Amazon Fire Stick has these plus this, which one are you going to buy?
you know what the difference is there, Travis? To get a Roku for my like to have a Roku TV, I have to buy the TV. Or I could buy a Roku box. I can go buy I can have a Roku TV right now, and if it's only available on Amazon, I can go buy a Fire Stick for $25. Not have to worry about it.
Then
I
you
just
got the Fire Stick forever. Then
that's what I'm saying. I can go buy a Fire Stick for $25, so it doesn't matter if it's only on Fire Stick. That's not going to hurt Roku TVs because guess what? I'll still have a Roku TV. It's not a Roku box hooked to a TV. It's a Roku TV. Like they partner with these.
I have the Roku TV right there. I'm staring at it. We don't have half the apps. The Roku TV is basically meaningless in this country.
That's okay, and I'm talking. Okay, then
I'm
talking
telling
about
you, but I'm telling you that if Roku TV was here and it didn't have HBO Max and there was another option here and people would discard the Roku TV. They've done it. People have said don't buy Roku TV because you can't get this app, this app, and this app on Roku TV here in Canada yet. Don't do it. So that's essentially putting complete bid of what you're saying
what's
about.
the other option of TV you have there other than a Roku
you
TV?
Can get
what other kind
Fire
of smart
Stick.
TVs
You can get any smart TV you can get where you're to. It's just some of them. The licensing here is different. So some of the smart apps don't have some of the smart TVs don't have some of the apps. Right. They're not licensed to them. And it's exactly like I'm talking about with if Roku doesn't have HBO Max, they're less appealing. So I think that you're here saying like Roku. Eventually, I think like Roku had even a few months ago, Roku was at the highest point for its bargaining, and it's been going down lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. In my opinion, the vaccine happens, it goes down even lower because you can bypass them and put your stuff out on in theaters too. Like they're not using those streaming television shows. Their main thing is those movies, right? And they had to go there because of this. So I just think that, yes, I know it benefits both of them. You're right, 100%. But I think you're downplaying how much it benefits Roku. Like I said, their shares went up 3% today just for this one announcement, this one thing.
And that's why I think you're kind of misunderstanding. I'm not saying that it didn't benefit Roku. It definitely does. It's very beneficial to them.
I know you're saying it benefited HBO Max more, but I think the way that you said it was you brushed off any benefit to Roku and was like, if Roku didn't do this, it'd be best kind. And I'm saying, no, it wouldn't. Eventually, it would come a point where it needed that content. If it's the only place that doesn't have that content, it's going to be passed up eventually because this has the most content of all the streaming apps right now. The 10,000 hours of backlog. Like I said,
the only difference I have there is it goes back to the same thing like the cable laws and everything. Like I keep asking, like, why can't HBO Max or why can't this just do this? It's because there's different laws. Well, Roku has deals with all these different electronics companies. You can't go to Walmart and buy a Samsung TV without it being a Roku TV. You can't go to Walmart and buy this brand TV without it being a Roku TV. So whether you want to have it or not, that's what it's going to be.
But you don't,
if you want to buy a smart TV,
you don't need to use the Roku part. Like you can put your Fire Stick in the side of the TV if it's a smart TV.
But you don't think Roku doesn't get a cut of that profit? You don't think so you're going to buy a Roku TV and never use the on-screen, never have to go to anything right in front of you options for Roku?
Well, if they're the apps that you got to pay for and you don't have, I don't. You may use some of them, but you if you don't have that main app there, you're not going to get use on that app. So you won't get the ad revenue. You won't get the subscription. Like what they say, 20% subscriptions or 30% subscriptions, 20% ad revenue. I can't remember. One of those two is either switched, but it's a good discussion. But I think I just think that it's a lot more even in terms of benefits. But
I think both sides won. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I think that, but actually they won and lost because this deal should have been done 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
Like
I think been fired up a couple weeks ago if it had been.
Yeah. But but also I think it's even if you put that out if they put this deal out exactly at the same time they announced the streaming, Wonder Woman, all the movies going streaming, I think that would have been better. I think this was dragged out a little bit too long, but everyone thought this was going to happen, and that's what happened. So super glad for all my American friends that can just sit back and watch their Roku TVs, HBO Max, watch all the content, watch the Snyder Cut there, watch basically everything, and me, Cray TV can kiss my ass.
But they have limited it, which is
30 days.
No, not 30 days. They did set out times that it's going to stream. Wonder Woman 84 is going to stream on that Christmas Day.
I thought it was 9 o'clock in the morning that it was going to be on there, and then
Right,
that's it.
9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it'll be on at 9 o'clock in the morning. You can stream anytime after that. What I'm saying is you can't watch it before then. So like, I can't wake up Christmas morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah,
I know, boo-hoo, it's no big deal, but it's just crazy that happened. I think that's gonna, man, the servers are gonna crash. It's gonna come out at one time across the entire country where people can watch it 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. People are gonna be.
That's the way it's done for every.
No, not true. I can wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning on Disney Plus and watch the new Mandalorian.
But it always gets released at the same time everywhere in the world.
No.
Yes.
What are you talking about? It's already been out in China.
No, I'm talking about when streaming shows are dropped. This HBO Max is only America. Only America drops. But normally, streaming shows like Mandalorian drops on 12 o'clock on Friday Pacific time, which is 3:30. Like, it still drops the same time everywhere in the world. Anyone in the world can watch it at 2:30.
Okay.
But that 2:30 is different for like time zones. So that 2:30, if it's 2:30 to drop it in California, that is essentially 7 a.m. here where I am. So I can watch it at 7 a.m. So this opening up servers crashing, this would have to be it regardless of whenever they open it, like they let it, because like wherever they released it, anyone can access it. Are you saying that because it's 9:30 in the morning, you don't get a big rush at 9:30 in the morning?
I do think that's what it is. Yes, 100%.
Maybe not on Christmas. I don't think that. I think that regardless of I think it'll be a lot more like paced out because it is Christmas.
Maybe.
And I don't think you're going to get like 4 million people watching Wonder Woman at 9:30 a.m. exactly when it opened up and crashed out servers. I think you could get 4 million throughout the day, but I don't think you're going to get 4 million at the exact times. Just speaking from my own personal Christmas experience, when you get out, open up your gifts, you're going to be playing with your gifts for a bit. You're going to have your kids playing with your gifts. This is kind of a family movie, so this is not going to be getting watched right away. Like, are you going to watch it with your family, or are you going to watch it by yourself?
Well, I wanted to watch it by myself first, and then watch
it
with my family after that. But
but
it's like now I'm watching it with my family first.
So you know what I mean. So I think that it's a good thing, but I don't see the servers crashing or anything like that. And this is the kind of the standard operating procedure. It's just normally it might be 7 a.m. instead of 9:30 a.m.
Yeah,
but for me anyway, like I remember like getting up watching Netflix shows. And like Disney, the Mandalorian would drop like 1:30 a.m. where I'm to. So if I stayed up, I'd have to be up till like 2:30 to watch an episode. So
well, you know what I think I'm gonna go do? I think I'm just gonna go on Christmas Eve and go watch a midnight showing at a movie theater because I already looked at tickets the other day. They have midnight showings on Thursdays playing here in open theaters. I've only seen like 3 cars in the parking lot at every theater I've gone to. If I can go have a whole theater to myself to watch it at midnight on Christmas Eve, why not? I might go do that. And then I'm gonna get online on Twitter and spoil it for everybody.
Oh geez.
Everybody, stay away from my Twitter feed.
Well, Greg, I don't feel like you do that. Is anyone, if you get spoiled, it's your own fault.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that anyway. But yeah. What's next, man?
Well, I guess we'll talk about the actual some things with Wonder Woman. It opened, like you said, in China already. It's earned 18.8 million in the opening weekend, which it was projected before to do 20 million in the opening weekend and 40 million overall, and now it's expected to do 30 million overall in China. So that was last week was the other tweet. So I with the numbers for Tenet, people are going to see this, and I find it funny. This goes along with Patty Jenkins saying she may or may not do Wonder Woman 84 if the theatrical experience is still around or not. I'm really getting sick and tired of these directors talking about that. Like, I love Patty, but I mean, come on, this is streaming. You're getting paid. You got extra check for Wonder Woman 84. Everyone's going to see your movie. Like, it's not this whole thing of got to see it in the theaters is really starting to drive me crazy. In a pandemic, they're still rolling out this thought of like got to see it in theaters to really truly experience my movie. That's bullcrap.
You should be able to experience it anywhere because guess what?
Anywhere.
People who see it.
I seen a tweet. It was like, sorry, I don't want to break it to Chris Nolan, but I watched oh my god, which one? Inception on an airplane for the first time. So I'm sorry. I really enjoyed the film, but I'm sorry if that's not the right way that I was supposed to watch that film.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm so glad I have somebody on my side because everywhere I go, somebody's always against me on that argument. I think me and you are right there on the same level. Like, just get over it. Everybody's having to make a sacrifice.
You're still getting to see your thing. And the main thing about all this for me is that they have slate of movies from 2020 that never got released, and they got to be eventually released. They can't you can't have a backlog of 2020 and 2021 films. So this works out perfect for it doesn't even work out for me. Like, I don't get the benefits of this, but I'm happy that people are getting a chance.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I wish my dog would stop barking. This is irritating the crap out of me. Sorry. Yes, I agree. People are getting a chance. And that's why I think that they should just get over it. You know, like I said, nothing at all is changing for you. Period. Like nothing. you don't get to have any kind of, I guarantee you do not go to theaters and see how people experienced it at theaters and feel how they felt, you know. And like I said, I would give up this whole argument about, you know, get over it if you give up all the royalties and all the extra stuff you get and all the pay you get from every time your movie is promoted, every time your movie goes on television and it's run, you know, like every time somebody downloads it on a streaming service or watches it on a streaming service, you're getting paid a little bit for that. If you really feel that badly about how your movie should only be seen in theaters, don't take the money from that. But I guarantee you're going to, because it's not really how you really feel. You just want to complain about something, you know, just my opinion. And I'm very pessimistic I can be kind of an asshole about this thing sometimes. So I don't like rich people complaining about being rich. So anyway, where were we? I went on a little rant there.
We were at the point that I just realized that I don't think you hit record.
That's okay. Get it off YouTube.
Oh,
I got this.
Okay.
I got this.
First time you ever record was never hit, and I just completely was like, oh, that sucks. So
I got this.
Okay, well, get that time out and delete that little part, please. Cut that out. I was like, oh crap, that sucks. That's about it for the Wonder Woman stuff. I'm really excited to talk about it. Don't really go into any more with Patty Jenkins talking about future of theaters, because we'll agree to disagree, Patty, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yep. Sounds good.
You're entitled to your opinion, but yeah. If I was a director, I'd just be happy for people to see my work. I understand the experience of theaters, but just in general, I just would be happy to have people see my work. That's it for the Wonder Woman news, Greg. I think, are you excited for watching it? You said you're going to watch it on Christmas Day. I think I might not be able to watch it until Boxing Day. I can't wait to record and talk about that. Finally, our first DC film for this podcast.
Yes. I'm actually a little more excited for the review of it and hearing what everybody's going to be on has to say about it.
Is it only you and Chris right now? I think that's.
No, I think there was 3 or 4.
Oh wait, no, Katie and Lisa as well. Yeah.
So we got a few people coming on. It's gonna be really, really fun. So
yeah.
Well, you want to take our last break? Come back and knock out the last couple things.
And knock out the last few things.
Cool deal. All right, man. Well, once again, folks, 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, all right, man. What are the last things we have to talk about?
We have that with your Would You Rather. You're going to hit us up with that. And then we're going to give some recommendations on DC Christmas episodes for DC TV.
Correct. Okay. We'll do the Would You Rather real quick. Let me pull it up. And Katie, I want to apologize to you in advance. I know you said a Would You Rather last week that I was supposed to tweet out that I completely forgot about. I actually forgot about all the Would You Rathers until a couple days ago.
Greg's too busy these days tweeting out sappy love videos instead of the Would You Rathers. It's so sweet that you can't really criticize it. You just make a little bit of fun, but
exactly. Make fun. That's scoring me big points with the wife.
Oh, I just wanted to make fun there, just because you said you forgot to do the Would You Rathers, and I'm looking at the DC Alliance Twitter page, and it's like the third thing is you dancing, and I was like, okay.
I was gonna make that the pin to the home of the DC Alliance app. Was that app or that tweet? So
don't you dare, because you'll be dancing with Carrot Top before I'm done. Because I'll superimpose Carrot Top's face there, and that would how much love shown there. I don't think you want that to be shown to Carrot Top. So
I hear you. So I only had the one Would You Rather this week. Katie had the other one. I promised Katie I'll put that one out for this week. It was a good one, Star Wars one, a Star Wars related one. So we'll put that one out this week. But the first and only Would You Rather this week is you get to read. You have the choice of reading one character for the rest of your life with the guarantee that every story is amazing, or the ability to read any character but evenly distributed number of good and poor stories. 75% poor, 25% amazing. So a lot more characters, but only a quarter of the stories are good. And the at first, the any character was taking off with it, and it looks like they're towards the end. Of course, there's only 7 votes, so I put it out late. There's only 7 votes, so I guess the first 3 or 4 people voted for in a quarter, but after that, everybody went with one character. So what did you vote on this one, man?
I voted one character.
One character.
I'll take any one character, just an amazing run for years, than 75% poor stories.
Yeah, I went the same way. I went one character as well. And it's funny, I did the 75-20 for poor and amazing. It almost broke down exactly 75-20. It's 71-28 or 75-25. It's 71-28. So that's 71.4, 28.6 if you want to be technical. So it broke down almost just like that. But yeah, I think most people agree that I'd rather just have one great story from a character. I think I could read Batman for the rest of my life. If that was the only character I had, I could read Batman for the rest of my life, as long as every story was a great story. It's not a lot of bad Batman stories, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the only Would You Rather this week.
Okay, so we're gonna do something special where Christmas is on Friday. We're gonna give a couple Christmas recommendations for DC content. And Greg, do you have any recommendations at all? Is there anything you like to watch over Christmas or around Christmas?
I do, and I'll go low hanging fruit here. Batman Returns. My opinion, one of the best Christmas movies there is out there. It's something I try to watch around this time of year, and then I'll probably watch another time or two during the year as well. But around Christmas time, I like to put it in there. Shell Fight for Catwoman. It's always good.
It's a great movie. I watch that pretty much every Christmas. Like you said, low hanging fruit, but a good low hanging fruit, like a mango or a apple or peach or something like that. For me, I have a few listeners. Sit back and prepare, because we're going in animation, we're going in television, and we're going in movies. So
nice.
Hitting them all. First, we have for me, we have DC CW action. Could not leave that out. We have Arrow season 1, episode 9, Year's End. Great little thing where you have Queen Christmas party that hasn't been thrown in the 5 years Oliver was away. Him wanting to do that. We get the first appearance of the Dark Archer, Merlin, and we get his reveal at the end of the episode. So great, and some little Christmas stuff in there, including a really cute thing with Oliver and Speedy eating candy canes and having a race. That's what they used to do. A little moment at the end of the episode where they do that. It's kind of nice. We have from The Flash, we have the man in the yellow suit. Our first appearance of Reverse Flash is right around the Christmas holidays, and
I remember that episode.
We get some nice little Christmas moments and a very cool scene that was bonkers. I can remember seeing this and then this going on hiatus, and I was distraught. I couldn't believe it. And also Flash season 2, episode 9, Running to Stand Still. That's another solid episode. It got Mark Hamill in it. He's dressed up as Santa Claus, so he's Trickster. Can't get much better than that. It's great. You get some Patty Spivot in there as well.
What is the Flash episode? What season? I think it's later on in the series, because it's got Joe's new girlfriend in it, where Cecilia, where they're debating on who has the best eggnog.
That is 2 years ago, I think, 2 seasons ago.
Okay, so it wasn't too long ago.
No, it wasn't too long ago.
Okay, I remember that one.
We also have from Justice League, the animated series, season 2, episode 23, Comfort and Joy. This was a great little episode as a one-off. There aren't many one-offs in in the Justice League animated, usually two-parters. So this was a cool little one-off. And I guess I didn't want to forget. I kind of did want to forget because it has BMO in it. But Legends season 3, episode 9, BMO got the God of War. They kind of go completely the opposite way with Christmas in the pagan holiday and all that jazz. Yeah. So, also Batman the Animated Series, we reviewed this season 1, episode 2, Christmas with the Joker.
I was gonna bring that up, then I was like, I don't know. I'm sure
we discussed it.
You won't miss that. Yeah,
it was on the list. It was on my list.
So.
But one of my favorite episodes that we don't talk about a lot, not a lot of people talk about it either, is in Smallville, season 5, episode 9, Lexmas. This is such a cool little alternate take where Lex makes all the good decisions, the right decisions up until this point, and he's married with Lana and has a couple kids. I think one kid or maybe 2 kids and she's pregnant, or 1 kid and she's pregnant. I'm pretty sure she's pregnant. And like he don't take any money from his father. He's just with Lana. Clark is with Chloe in this, and I think Lana dies giving birth to a baby girl. Lex's father helps save her when he could. He's very cold, and then he ends up he wakes up from a coma, and he ends up choosing his father, which basically cements his status as a villain, his destiny to become a villain. Very good episode that never gets talked about a lot. And it's a mashup of like A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life, and it's.
You have to watch the Smallville show sometime for a good.
Oh, you're in for a treat. It's a couple of seasons there. There's a season there where there's
like 12 seasons.
No, it's 10 seasons. There's a witch. There's a witch. Yeah, that's a kind of out there in season 4, but. Or season 4, season 3, one of those 2 seasons. I can't even remember. They kind of all blur together for me. It's not like I can completely distinguish. I didn't do the Arrow thing where I watched episode 1, then I watched episode 2, and watched it before episode 2. I watched episode 1, then episode 2. Then for episode 3, I watched episode 1, 2, then 3. So I didn't do that for this show, so I don't know what like the back of my hand. But this is a great episode. So yeah, listeners, those are a couple of our recommendations. And for movies, for me, I got to go with Shazam as well.
I was gonna,
littered around the Christmas time, and it's a fun flick. I really enjoyed it. So, I don't know if there's any more. That's all I can think of that I've watched myself. But I'm sure that maybe there's others for. I may be even blanking for some other animated stuff. There's some in like the Justice League when there's some great things of like Superman's parents giving John Jones a gift and him like experiencing Christmas is all really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a few more out there because every genre of things does some kind of Christmas themed things. That way, around Christmas time, you want to be relevant.
Well, I have some other like non-DC ones. Like there's like X-Men Evolution. There's On Angel's Wings. That's a good one. And there's Nightmare on Christmas for Ultimate Spider-Man. I can't remember the episode's name offhand. I just remember that those were the episodes, but I can't remember it's not that good. And Darkwing Duck was another one that did a really cool.
I love Darkwing Duck.
Like some sort of like play on It's a Wonderful Life. I can't remember exactly what type. Like it's been a while. And Bump in the Night Christmas special. Love that. They're very, very like I don't know many people that actually remember that show. So like I can remember the theme song. I won't embarrass myself.
I can't get the Darkwing Duck theme song out of my head now.
Bump in the night, bump in the night. Okay.
What is it? When you're in trouble, you can call DW. Oh man, Darkwing Duck, buddy. Good stuff.
I tell you, but yeah, fun Christmas episodes, and I'm definitely going to watch a few of those, including the Justice League animated episode and the Arrow episode for sure.
I think that I'm going to this year. I think my kid might be old enough. My 10-year-old might be old enough to watch Shazam and not be freaked out by it. If she is, she might just. It's only certain parts of it.
One part, in my opinion,
that's the only part.
Boardroom Seed.
That and the introduction to them, I guess, can be somewhat scary for.
You can do earmuffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Earmuffs and clothes. Earmuffs and visor. Earmuffs and visor.
But I may try to make that something that we watch every year because I actually haven't seen Shazam in a long time. I need to rewatch Shazam because it's a good movie. I want it to be higher on my list than it is, and I'm sure that eventually it probably will once I watch it a few more times. But it's Shazam. I'm ready to see. I need to see it again.
It's good.
So I might
man.
make that a Christmas tradition.
It's good. A Batman Returns is getting watched by me. I've watched it with my father before, so it's fun time. But some of these other small things are going to get watched for me. I'm looking to the left right now. I can see the Christmas tree lit up with presents under it.
Nice.
Some of them are mine, and I really want to peek, but
I've never been that person that had.
I've ruined my brother's Christmas. I've ruined my younger brother's Christmas. I feel so bad thinking about it now. Like, come in, look at this in here. You think Santa Claus is real?
I am never a person that cares about getting gifts from people. I love to give gifts to people, though. I love seeing the look when I give gifts to people. Don't get me wrong, I like buying stuff for myself. And I think that's my thing, is I know when there's something I want, I know specifically what I want. And I know I can go get this exact thing that I want. I'm not saying somebody couldn't get it for me.
I feel like you're saying all the lyrics in the "I know what I want and I want it now" song. Like, just, I don't know, but in word form.
I've just never been a huge, proponent of being excited about getting gifts. I'm cool if I get something, that'd be awesome, and I'm sure I'm gonna like everything that I get. So I know that my sisters and Amber, I'm throwing you to the bus here, used to unwrap their presents. And to do it so delicately, they would unwrap them and rewrap them in the same paper, same tape, and everything. They were good. They were real good.
We didn't do anything like that. We just try and find after I got on board, we would try and find the presents. But if they were wrapped, we would just leave them be. We wouldn't try and peek because we were not like that where you could use your nail and cut it open and then look at it and then put it back down. No, we were a hurricane of destruction. That's essentially
Tasmanian devil open a present.
Yeah, there would be no delicateness. There would be destruction, and we would leave evidence. So there was only looking, no touching when we were searching for presents. Yeah.
All right. All right, buddy. Well, I think that's all we got for right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, folks, I don't think we're going to see y'all again till Christmas. We got superhero discussions coming up later on this week. I don't know if we're going to do Batman the Animated Series or if we're going to try to knock out Death in the Family.
Try. I have to, with DC Universe shutting down.
Yeah, that's an issue for me too.
I'm going to have to
buy the
physical copy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if I was given it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I may I'll probably buy it, and if I'm giving it for Christmas, I'll return it, and just keep the one that I bought and have it as a gift because it is on sale at Walmart's, the Batman the Animated Series. So I'm just going to pick that up, and maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just hammer out another episode of that and power through. I want to do a couple Batman movies after we finish the first season. I want to do Mask of the Phantasm and do that Death in the Family. But like I said, maybe we'll get a time where we can do Death of the Family during on a Sunday after we record a Thursday superhero discussion.
That's not a bad idea. I like that.
So we'll figure something out. Listeners, there may be a chance that we don't get together to record superhero discussions for Friday, Christmas Day. If that's so, we will. It'll be a hiatus of just 1 week. But I can see us getting together sometime between now and then and recording because it's an hour and a half of our time max.
Right.
And I think we can find that. And I know you probably won't listen to it on Christmas Day, but we just want to have it there with you just in case it'd be a thing to drown out some presents. Button. Yeah.
Don't matter if you listen to it. It's automatic download. Make sure it's there, Friday morning. So, all right, man. Well, I also wanted to point out, be ready for us. Next episode is going to be live next Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We're going to be covering Wonder Woman. It's going to be a review. We've got a bunch of guests coming on. It's going to be a really good time. It's going to give everybody 2 days to actually get the movie watched. Well, 3 days technically, I guess, if you count Sunday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 3 days. So come check us out. It's going to be really fun. I know it's going to be really exciting because nobody's seen a movie in a long, long time. So I'm excited to see a superhero movie coming out, and Wonder Woman's a great way to do it. Finally get to see this movie. So excited. That is my favorite. That's my best Christmas gift right there is Wonder Woman, I think. Of course, I haven't opened my gifts yet, so I feel like it'll be the best gift. But all right, man. Well, where can they find you at, buddy?
Follow me on Twitter, Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime. Like I said, thanks for patrons. Look forward to that today. That'll be there. A great discussion with Clay. Thanks for supporting the network. If you have any NBA 2K20 tips, send them Greg's way.
Send them
He
me,
desperately
please.
need them.
Yes.
He's horrible and awful put together. Horror awful is what I call him. He's horror awful.
No,
like some of Craig Sager's suits.
Don't say it like that. I would say 75% of our games, I'm in it till the last minute, and I blow it in the last minute.
You have a 75% losing percentage, and any way you look at that, that's
I am in it till the last minute. I just can't close the game out.
If your coach for your Panthers has 75% losing percentage, you'd want him out of there ASAP.
So. You're absolutely right, but you know what? You're not paying me $85 million to do this for the next 10 years, so that's the difference. I'm allowed to suck. I'm not getting paid $85 million to do it. But all right, man. You can check me out at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter. Personal handle, DC Alliance Podcast, Superhero Discussions Podcast, Super Civil Servants, C3 Panthers post-game show. I'm a podcast whore. I get on a lot of different stuff. Check me out, Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. You can find pretty much everything I'm on. And that's it, man. Until next week, keep pounding. Merry Christmas. And we're coming back strong with Wonder Woman, right?
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays, that's right.
Look forward to dropping a DC Films review next. So,
yeah.
Later, everyone.
Later, y'all.